I guess I'm making this video in regards to the passing of Vinnie Paul. And it is sad. He was one of my favorite drummers. He had this really unique gift of, I guess you could say, mixing speed with groove, and a lot of drummers just don't have that. And I had this big goal one day of doing music and having Vinnie Paul and Metal Mike on my music, because they just were so metal, and that won't happen. But I'm just so thankful that the world had someone like him, to give us that person, that model to go off of musicianship and stuff like that. The reason why I wanted to make this more so, though, was because of some of these videos I've seen of people that know of him and partied with him and have known him for a while, and they're putting up their videos on Instagram and social media and giving their commentary on his passing. And it's sad. It is sad, and to see so many people suffering and being upset over it, because he was such an amazing person to so many people. And the ones that I don't really particularly care for are the ones where they're upset and then they go and talk about how they're going to go get fucked up. And the reason why it bothers me is because I had something very similar happen to me. There's a friend of ours who was so kind to us when we first moved to Los Angeles. He was the only person who talked to us in the beginning and made friends with us and invited us to his gigs, and was just so kind to us and always invited us to do things and talk to us after shows when nobody else would. And he made us a part of his life when he didn't have to, and tried to really keep us out of trouble. And his name was Tracy Michael. Tracy Michael's from Peppermint Creeps. And when he passed, after the funeral, everybody said, "Let's go to the Rainbow and get fucked up." And I felt that it was very wrong. And I know that a lot of his friends would say that he wouldn't want us to cry or whatever and be sad. And I'm sure that Vinnie Paul, his relatives and his around him would mourn and say, don't cry, let's celebrate his life. And I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is the notion that somebody passes away and you're angry, so you go off and you want to drink yourself and do drugs and get yourself into a complete and utter stupor to the point of harming yourself because of someone's passing. You're completely nulling everything of what you should learn from these events. Not saying that Vinnie Paul died because he was an addict or whatever. None of that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he passed away at a fairly young age, and we should take that into consideration and not turn ourselves into this "you only live once" kind of person and go make a bunch of brash decisions that you're going to regret and that your families will regret. We have these celebrities that go and criticize people, like Chester from Linkin Park for killing himself, but then we have these same people that will get upset when someone passes away and go drink themselves into an utter stupor and to the point of almost killing themselves. But that's okay. It's not okay to do that. And I think that we need to take a step back and accept that death is a part of life, and it is terrible that these things happen, and it is terrible what happened, and it can be unfair, and life can be unfair, and we have to accept that. And that some people don't want to be here anymore, and we have to respect that. And then some people will leave us early because of whatever reason it may be: illness, sickness, an accident. It doesn't matter. The point is that we will not all be here forever, and we have to accept that. And we also have to accept that we have to respect those that we lose and not take advantage of what we have left here because we're angry. So please keep that in mind. You know, don't immediately run to the bottle and don't immediately run to drugs and all these terrible things because somebody passes away. You know, I'm not saying you can't go out and have a drink with the buddies, you know, to celebrate someone's life, because we should celebrate. And if that's how you celebrate, that's okay. But when you're going and talking about deliberately getting fucked up because you're upset and you don't care if you die, that's stupid, because you're crying over someone passing away and then you have no thought in your mind of what you're going to do to those around you that love you, that will miss you when you're gone. And you're just repeating a process there of. So, I kind of wanted to make another note of something, is that as humans, we need to understand that we are not invincible and that we will die and that we will move on to the next, whatever it is you believe, next plane, next life, whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. So live your life by loving those around you and respecting those around you and being loyal to those around you and loving those around you that care for you and not treating them badly and poorly and taking advantage of them and using them. And vice versa, they shouldn't do this to you, because one day you won't be here. And one day you will not be a part of their life. And that could be very detrimental to some people. So love and respect those around you. You have this one life. You have one life right now. In my opinion, it's something that you should not abuse. I also would say that, you know, in regards to those that choose to take their life, let them do what they choose to do. It's their life. They have that right. And it shouldn't matter what anybody else's opinion is to them. It's their life. It's their ability to do what they want with it. And we should respect those people and try to understand those people and understand why they may have done that. Instead of criticizing them, we need to learn from them and figure out what it is that made them feel that way. And maybe the next time we can prevent that from being a cyclical thing. But I also wanted to say one more thing. Humans will continuously talk about how we have evolved as a species. We are no longer the animal, the ravenous animal, and we should love and respect, and we're beyond the animalistic ways of murder and death and killing, and even though we're not, we're consciously above that. And we're more higher than animals, basic animals such as cats and dogs and deer and bear and whatever else you want to say. We're above that now. But here's where I think humans are behind. When an animal loses a loved one, it accepts it. It accepts that this is a part of it. It understands the pain and the hurt and the sorrow and the sadness, but then it moves on with its life. It carries on because it realizes that no matter what it does, it will not change what has happened. What has happened, and it is no longer in the present or the future. It is now in the past. And those moments cannot be erased, rewound, nothing. It is as it is, and that's final. That is final. So humans don't do this. Humans linger. Humans just sit in it, and they don't learn. Death is a part of life, and it is inevitable, and that is something that will always be a constant in our lives. Amongst everything in our lives that seems inconsistent, that is the one consistent that we have. That is the one consistent that we will always have, and that is the reassurance that death will come. So be thankful for that, and realize that animals, I guess, aren't as low as we claim them to be. I think humans have a lot of growing up to do. We have a lot of growing up to do. So love those around you. Cherish them, honor them, be loyal to them. You know, respect life, but respect death too. They're just as equal. All right? Have a good day, guys. Peace.